again, and you're very welcome to another Louth County Matters, coming to you from the stunning Bellingham Castle right here in Castle Bellingham. Coming up in this week's show, we check out how the restoration of the Boyne Canal is progressing and how volunteers are working so hard to bring this fantastic waterway back to life. We visit Mary Cowan in Bridge Street Studios to find out more about her passion for ceramics. In part 2, we drop into Changing Times in RD and chat to Josephine Hamilton about why antiques are so popular. And finally, we meet spirit medium Fiona Dennis to chat about her unusual talent and to find out all about her book, This Is Not Goodbye. So first up, Charlene went along to check out the Boyne Restoration Project just outside Drogheda.
Now this project, the restoration of the Boyne navigation, started more than 15 years ago, and we started down at what is known as the Sea Lock, which is the beginning of the canal sections. The Sea Lock was originally built in the 1700s and was used for quite a long period at that stage, but fell into total disuse in the early 1900s. And that disuse meant that it collapsed completely. And when we started restoring, we had to restore the whole thing, new gates, rebuild the lock and so on. But now we've finished that completely, and that lock is now operational.
Well, that was stage one. What came next, Miles?
Well, the next thing then was the restoration of what is known as the turf lock here beside us. And this is the other end of the Old Bridge section of the navigation. The Boyne navigation is not really a canal like the Royal Canal or the Grand Canal. It's a series of canal sections linked to river sections. And the section that we're working on particularly at the moment is the Old Bridge section. Now we're working on the restoration of the lock here, the turf lock. And once we get the wall, which has been built across here in the 1930s to protect the old lock. Once we get rid of that and install proper lock gates, we'll be able to get boats from the Old Bridge section of the canal out onto the river and on up to the next section, which starts up at Stilleen. The Stilleen section of the canal then goes from Stilleen all the way up past the New Grange Heritage Centre, and on up through Slane, and eventually the whole navigation ends up at Navan.
So Miles, what you're telling me is it starts in Drogheda in County Louth and finishes in Navan in County Meath. And could you tell me, this is going to be a working canal?
That's right. It actually starts in Drogheda, where the ships used to come in from England with cargo and so on, and the cargo was transferred in Drogheda onto canal boats, and the canal boats came up the canal and shipped that cargo up to Slane, Navan and so on. Now, we won't be having commercial traffic on this anymore, because the commercial traffic has disappeared completely. But what will be on it is pleasure craft. And the Royal Canal and the Grand Canal have been reborn on the basis of pleasure craft. And this is what we're looking for, that this canal would be used for pleasure craft all the way from Drogheda up to Navan eventually.
Tell me, how do you get volunteers involved?
Yeah. Well, it's word of mouth, friends and saying it to friends. And actually, when we were at the Sea Lock, quite a few people walked by. And as you know, we've the new walk was opened there last summer, and a fantastic amount of people are running up along there, walking and running. and it's surprising the number of people now that have signed on and said they're going to join us here. But we have a guy here on we've a webman here, Fikra, and Fikra looks after. He puts plenty of stuff up on the web, and he's always looking for volunteers, and we. Here now, who are walking now, it'll be the very same. We'll have a lot of passing people walking, and Fikra has a table here and he hands out leaflets, and he's a good guy for getting in people. And we have another lad that organises events, and he is fantastic now, Stephen. And there was last summer now they had an event down at the tall ships came into Drogheda, and they had a stand below, and there got quite a few volunteers signed up on the day. We have got some since, and hopefully now we could do it more. We have, as I said, about 10 or 12 on average, and as many people as we can get, we need. So volunteers out there, sign up and give us some help.
A lot of hard work being done there, and if you'd like to get involved, you can check out their website, boyne.iwai.ie. So